Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. This segment will probably be absolutely hilarious because we're going to see some delusional takes from Fox News contributors. They're going to be talking about Trump's threat to Canada to begin 100% tariffs on Canadian goods over the potential China deal, which is ironic because it was just last week where Trump was on camera saying the deal's good, he should do that. Congratulations to Canada. Deal's good and good for Mark Carney. That was it. And then a week later, whatever way the wind blows, Trump can explode. He's like he's completely unpredictable. But I'd also mention the hypocrisy involved because it's not like the United States hasn't been trying to lower trade tensions with China as well, right? So I think Carney is clearly... He got to Trump over the speech in Davos. Trump's probably looking at all the headlines and seeing the praise that Carney's getting and just seething when he sits on the toilet and he sends out his Truth Social messages and all his thank you for attention to this matter BS. I think the world is, in a lot of ways, moving on, but tentatively, just gonna wait it out and see if the U.S. can be a reliable partner again once Trump is gone. But for the moment, I think a lot of countries, a lot of powers around the world are shoring up their situation and giving themselves alternatives and signing alternative trade deals, seeking out new partnerships with countries that are reliable and have integrity and have honesty. So let's see this segment. It's probably going to be Fox News just slathering and yeah, they're going to be, obviously it's Fox News. So let's go.
Well, this is a Fox News alert this morning. President Trump is threatening Canada with tariffs if the country makes a deal with China. Now, as Canada appears to oppose the...
Don't forget, Trump always chickens out.
U.S. acquisition of Greenland. Trump wrote this on Truth Social. If Governor Carney, notice he said governor there.
Also, that's a big point. I think this is the first time he's referred to Carney as governor. So yeah, that clearly I think means their relationship is deteriorated and essentially means that Carney is not just going to do whatever he wants.
Thinks he is going to make Canada a drop-off port for China to send goods and products into the United States. He's sorely mistaken. China will eat Canada alive, completely devour it, including the destruction of their businesses, social fabric, and general way of life. If Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be...
The sad thing is, it's that China, at least to Canada, to my country right now, seems like a more reliable and stable trading partner than the United States of America. Wild.
Hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the U.S. Now let's bring in former special envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg. I was so excited to talk with you, General Kellogg. Thank you for your service to the Trump administration. Once again, you did a wonderful job in term 2 like term 1. You were in Davos with President Trump. What do you make of this latest threat against Canada? 100% for, quote, Governor Carney.
Yeah, thanks, Kaylee, for having me on. It just amazes me that people do not understand President Trump. President Trump dominated Davos.
He dominated Davos. Did he watch the same speech that we all watched? People were like falling asleep and laughing at just the completely incoherent ramblings of an old and confused bully.
Speech in Davos was great, and he talked about Greenland. The fact of the matter, and I just wish people would stop clutching their pearls. Greenland has been on the table for a long time, since 1867, when the then Secretary of State Seward, when he bought Alaska, so it's called Seward's Folly, he also wanted to buy Greenland at the time. Fast forward.
These people are delusional.
Truman was willing to buy Greenland as well.
Absolutely delusional.
For national security reasons. And for Canada, as an example, to take Chinese goods, President Trump is exactly right on providing tariffs. He is doing...
Does the U.S. not take Chinese goods or sell goods to China?
It's for the security of the United States, and I applaud him for it. And he's very smart about what he's doing. I just wish people would back off a little bit understand the national security elements, understand the history, and they'll do just fine. But stop going to this Trump derangement syndrome. Just stop it and understand what we're trying to do with national security. That's all it's about.
Trump is a businessman, and I was fascinated in his
Looks like we got to get some knee pads for these folks.
Davos speech to hear him talk about Swiss watches and how this tariff negotiation went about. Then he talked about talking to another foreign leader, and this person kind of rubbed him the wrong way. So she was demanding not to have tariffs. So he elevated them even higher before settling at a certain rate. Did you see any of this real-time back and forth? Take us into Davos, what it's like sitting by President Trump as he does this business dealing.
Well, it's amazing to watch. You know, we as Americans should be incredibly proud of President Trump and his leadership. Again, I said earlier, he just dominated. And the national leaders from the other states that were there, they're kind of secondary players when it comes to national security. President Trump is doing it right. He's a businessman. He's approaching it from a business perspective, but also a national security perspective. And it's amazing to watch what he's doing, not only with Greenland.
By the way, how about the Epstein files, huh?
But with Ukraine and with NATO and everything else. And he just dominated and then left Davos kind of like a conquering hero. And I felt really good as an American watching what he's done.
And I was watching some liberal media, and their takeaway was this. The EU stood up to President Trump, and they got their way on Greenland. And I just kind of laughed to myself because I thought, you don't understand. President Trump, hits a negotiation at a high point, demanding more than what he wants.
It's the art of the deal.
Lands at what he wants and gets what he wants, something Biden could never do. Is their strategy, as we watch these Truth Socials come out moment by moment, their strategy to them?
Well, when you look at the national security strategy and what Greenland will do, not only is it from a business deal, but from a national security role as well, it's a key player, future of the Arctic. When I go back to 1867 with Alaska, people just threw it away, that Alaska was not that important. Look at it today. It's incredibly important. And the same with Greenland. And they've talked to the Danes as well about it, and it's nothing new. But when you look at their strategy of the incoming missiles, for example, and building the Golden Dome, they're going to be, Greenland is going to be a key part of that. But it's everything he's touched, he just seems to know what he's doing. He's advancing everybody. He's being very, very proactive. And I'm talking not only Greenland, I'm talking Ukraine, I'm talking NATO, and they all realize that. Now, I will say, though, for NATO, they really have stepped up to the table. They've really tried to do things well. And everybody needs to know that, for example, when we went into Afghanistan, NATO was there. The Brits, for example, they lost over 400 soldiers killed in action. They had Helmand Province. They fought alongside us as well. So, when you look at it, when you look at what he's trying to do, put it all in perspective. A lot of people don't, but I do. And I look at the historical basis as well and the future of the nation as well.
General Kellogg, I hope you get some rest, because I know from personal experience, keeping up with President Trump is very, very tough, and you were in Davos with him. Thank you so much. Great to have you. We'll have you back.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host.
All right. I don't know, y'all. Make sure, comment down below, give me your thoughts, regardless of which side you're on. I do think the entire binary of politics is absolutely ridiculous. We're all being played. The rich get richer. We have the billionaires in the world's wealth has pretty much doubled, I think, since 2020. They own trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, continually extracting more and more wealth as inflation increases, and we're kind of not really on a sustainable trajectory, but we'll see how it goes. The world's certainly in an interesting place right now. But yeah, keep going out there. But yeah, I'd like to see your guys' thoughts. See you on the next one.